I'm heartily sorry for getting all of you killed as well.
I don't think we need to worry about death just yet. Look!
Durin's beard!
Well, this is a day I'll not soon forget. I've seen a few things in my time, but I've not flown on an eagle's back till today. Well, now that it's a bit easier to talk, let me thank you properly for saving our lives and bid you welcome to Nordenbad, our home. Nordri's father, the Lord Gorin, will want to speak with you. Nordri's gone ahead to report on the Gundabad raid and to tell him about everything you did for us.
Why did you lead your warriors against Mount Gundabad?
We keep a careful watch on the orcs of the mountains. When we saw them gathering in large numbers at Gundabad, we had reason to believe they were preparing to move against us here. We didn't like our chances against that many orcs, but we knew about the hidden weapon at Gundabad. So Nordri and I led a small force there to use it against them.
I'd like to know a bit more about the weapon you used to collapse the ceiling at Gundabad.
It was an ancient defense made by the dwarves who delved Gundabad long ago. Nobody understood the qualities of stone better than the dwarves of old. And they knew that just the right sound can cause solid stone to split. They used that knowledge to build a defense against any enemy who might force their way past the gates of their home.
But Mount Gundabad has been in the hands of the orcs for centuries. How did you know about so ancient a weapon?
Aye, it's been in the hands of the orcs for many a year, but not straight through. I was only a lad when my people fought a great war against the orcs, but my father helped sack Gundabad. He was one of the stoneworkers who found the weapon. It made a big impression on him, and he told me the tale so many times I was sure I could find the thing and use it against the orcs.
But how could you be certain it would still work after all those centuries?
We didn't. The whole thing was a gamble. Luckily it paid off.
So, do you have something like that here?
Some things are best left secret, I think.
Do you think the orcs will follow us here to Nordenbad?
Escaping on eagles like we did will throw them off the trail a bit, but it won't be long before they realize it was a group of dwarves that hit them first, and that'll get them thinking about us here. It's not like they're not thinking about Nordenbad anyway, but I'll let Gorin tell you more about that.
I'm pleased to make the acquaintance of a fellow dwarf, but between the fighting and traveling and all, I don't think we got your name.
Oh, confound me for an old fool. Bruni, son of Bane, at your service and your families. I'm captain of the Nordenbad Guard and a servant of Lord Gorin.
We traveled east a long way over many mountain peaks to get here. But where in Middle-earth are we exactly?
Aye, it's east you've come. Clean over the Misty Mountains and along the length of the Grey Mountains. You've left the lands of Eriador behind. You're on the northern edge of the land of Rovanian now.
I'd like to hear a bit more about your Lord Gorin before we meet him.
Gorin's a great leader. He'd have to be to hold Nordenbad together for so long, surrounded by enemies and starved for basic necessities as we are. There's not a dwarf here who wouldn't lay down his life for him.
We'll be happy to speak with your Lord Gorin.
Just make your way past the doors you see yonder and you'll find him within. The guards have been instructed to let you pass.
I suspect I'm the first man to see the inside of these halls.
I am certain I'm the first elf to do so.
You should go speak with Lord Gorin. You'll find him inside.
I'd best go. Farewell, Bruni. cram view this is. Bit chilly for my liking, though.
Here, sire, are those I spoke of. Allow me to present a kinsman, Farn of Erebor, and also Andriel and Eridan, his companions. We succeeded in our task, and I live to tell of it, thanks only to their aid.
You are most welcome here, kinsman, and no less so your companions, be they man, elf, or eagle. Welcome all to Nordenbad, last hall of the Longbeards in the Grey Mountains. You have returned to me, my son and my oldest friend, whom already I mourned as lost. For this, you will forever have my gratitude and the hospitality of these halls. Know that this is not something lightly given, for never before have we allowed any but our own folk to pass these gates. And no eyes have gazed upon the hidden lake of Azanzaran, save those...
You are fellow Longbeards. Then we truly are kin. I didn't know any of our folks still dwelt in the Grey Mountains.
Aye. In centuries past, most of our kin called these mountains home. But then the dragons came from the far north. One by one, our halls were lost or abandoned. All but Nordenbad. We alone endured those dark times. And thanks to you, we may hope to endure our current troubles as well.
Many orcs were slain at Gundabad, and that's work well done. But a lot of good dwarves died too. Couldn't you have just trusted these strong walls to defend you?
Were we dealing with the host of Gundabad alone, we would have done just that. We have repulsed many orc attacks in the past, but this time their numbers were far too great. Orcs and goblins have been pouring into Gundabad from every pit and cave in the north.
We struck them a heavy blow, but even so, we'll still be hard-pressed if they move against us here.
Now you know why my people were at Gundabad, but I cannot help but wonder what brought the three of you there.
We were seeking a servant of the enemy, a man known as Agandar.
Agandar. We are familiar with that one. Curse his Blackheart.
He appeared before our gates some weeks past, and called us to parley, in the name of Sauron the Great, so he said.
A pity you didn't cut him down before he uttered a word. That one deserves no less.
I dare say he does. Yet I would not tarnish the honor of Nordenbad by attacking an emissary seeking to parley. Even one foul enough to serve the Lord of Mordor.
What did the snake have to say?
He demanded that we yield ourselves up to the mercy of Sauron, as if there was any mercy in the Dark Lord.
He lays claim to Nordenbad, telling us if we turn over our halls and riches without a fight, our lives will be spared, and we will be free to seek a new home elsewhere.
Of course, we would have nothing of that. When we defied him, he grew wrathful, threatening us with the fiery doom that overtook our ancestors.
I doubt Agandauer is one to appreciate the beauty of Nordenbad. What's he after, do you think? Gold and jewels?
Nay, Nordenbad provides for our needs, but never have we considered it rich, save in beauty.
I fear he may have allied himself with the dragon Orgast who dwells in these parts. With such a beast at his command, we would have little hope of resisting him.
Maybe we should go after this dragon before he comes after us.
Well, destroy Orgast? If only it were that simple. The attack on Gundabad would be a peaceful stroll around the lake in comparison. If it were so easy to slay dragons, there would be many more dwarves still dwelling in these mountains.
Urgost has never taken notice of us before. We rather hoped it would stay that way.
They say it does not pay to leave a live dragon out of your calculations, if you live near one.
And we cannot allow Agandar to gain such a powerful ally.
Aye, better go after it before it comes after us. Where can we find Urgost?
You do not lack for courage, I will grant you. Yet we know not where the dragon dwells. No dwarf has discovered his lair and lived to tell of it.
Perhaps Radagast knows this secret, or can discover it. Seems there is little that happens in Wilderland that escapes his notice.
And who is Radagast?
Radagast the Brown. He is a wizard, a master of birds and beasts. He keeps to himself mostly, but he's a decent enough sort. As long as you mean no harm to the wild creatures he befriends.
He dwells within the forest of Mirkwood, away to the south. Perhaps your companion Belaram would know where to find him, for it is said that Radagast is a friend to the Lord of Eagles himself.
We should travel to Mirkwood. If Radagast knows as much as you say, it is certain to be worthwhile.
Indeed. But before you set out, please accept a token of our gratitude. Seek out my steward Galar. I have instructed him to open our vaults to you. I believe you may find something within that will be of service in the days ahead.
Ah, there's a view that would move the heart of any dwarf. It's marvelous. There is some fine stonework here. Very fine indeed. There are skilled artisans here, to be sure.
Ah, you must be foreign. Our distant kin from the Lonely Mountain. Word of you has spread like a beard on fire. Well, this is a rare treat. I hope all your folk are such fierce warriors. The enemy will feel your blows for a long time to come. So, how can I help you today?
Here, Burry. You might find these old relics interesting. What do you make of them?
Well, now, I'm no lore master, but these look to be the work of men. Ancient, beyond a doubt. Superb work. Some of the finest I've seen. Perhaps even the work of Westerness from Numenor, that now lies beneath the sea. I could put these together into a single weapon for you. And a superior weapon it would be. Mind you, I'd be applying my own craft to it, so it'll also have the qualities of a dwarf weapon.
And that would differ from an elven smith?
That's the way of it. An elven smith would bring certain qualities to the work if he were to put this together. But I think you'll be satisfied with what I can.
I could ask for no more than the craftsmanship of a newfound kinsman. Go ahead, if you please.
It'll be a pleasure to work on something new. Or ancient, in this case. Rest your heels while I get to work on this. There you go. That's a weapon that begs for an enemy to feel its wrath. May it serve you well against that foul, oak-loving Agendour.
So you're the stranger from Erebor. You look like a proper dwarf in spite of that, I guess. Now that you know we're here, I suppose we'll be overrun with distant ken coming to gawk at our lake. Are you here to buy something? I've an excellent stock of the best Nordenbad craftwork, so speak up. Time's a waste.
See here, Goran himself sent me. He said to talk to his steward and choose something as a token of his gratitude.
Yes, yes. He may have mentioned it to me. It was rather too generous of him. Not that I don't appreciate what you did, but how does he expect me to increase our wealth by giving our best work away? Well, here you go. Take your pick. Are you here to buy something?